I stood in front of the mirror, adjusting my collar for the third time, my hands trembling slightly. Tonight was supposed to be perfect, our 3-year anniversary. You look great, babe. Jordan had texted me an hour ago, followed by 3 heart emojis. Can't wait for tonight. I should have been thrilled. I should have been counting down the minutes. Instead, I felt this strange hollowness in my chest, like something was missing. Like I was standing on the edge of something I couldn't name. My phone buzzed. Casey's name flashed on the screen. Good luck with tonight. I stared at that message longer than I should have. Casey was just a coworker. Just someone I'd been having coffee with during breaks. Just someone who made me laugh when work got stressful. Just someone who looked at me like I was exciting, not comfortable. I typed back, thanks, then I deleted it, then I typed it again. And hit send. The restaurant was downtown. The same place where Jordan and I had our first date 3 years ago. I remembered that night, how nervous I'd been. How Jordan had ordered for both of us when I couldn't decide. How we talked until the waiters started putting chairs on tables. I pulled into the parking lot at 7:55 p.m. Through the window, I could see Jordan already seated, checking their watch, smiling. That smile used to make everything feel right. Tonight, it made me want to run. I love you so much. Alex, Jordan said across the candlelit table, reaching for my hand. I took it, feeling the warmth of their fingers against mine. I love you too, did. I did. I knew I did. So why did it feel like I was reading lines from a script? I have something for you, Jordan said, pulling out a small velvet box. My heart stopped. We were already engaged. The wedding was planned for next spring. What was this? Jordan opened the box and inside was a key, just a key, but the way Jordan was looking at me, I knew it meant something more. I've been saving for 2 years, Jordan said softly. I wanted to surprise you. I bought us a house, Alex, our house. I close on it next month. The words hit me like cold water. A house, our future. Locked in, permanent, real. Jordan, I know it's a lot, they interrupted, squeezing my hand. But I've been dreaming about this, about us. About coming home to you every day for the rest of my life. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I knew I shouldn't look. I looked anyway. Casey, can you meet me after? I really need to talk to you, Alex. Did you hear me? I forced my eyes back to Jordan. Yeah, sorry, it's incredible. You don't seem happy. No, I am. I pressed my hand to my stomach. I'm not feeling well. Actually, my stomach's been weird all day. The concern in Jordan's eyes made me feel sick for real. Do you need to go home? We can reschedule. No, maybe we can cut the night a little short. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Jordan's disappointment was visible, but they smiled anyway. Of course, let me get the check. I'll take you home. Actually, I drove separately. Remember, I came from work. The light tasted like metal in my mouth. I'll just head back. You stay. Finish your wine. Alex, I'm not going to sit here alone on our anniversary, please, I said, standing up too quickly. I just need to lie down. I'll call you later, okay? I kissed their forehead and left before they could argue. In the parking lot, I sat in my car and stared at Casey's message. I could go home. I could call Jordan back. I could be the person I was supposed to be. Instead, I typed, "Where are you?" Casey responded immediately, "My place, you know where." I started the car and drove in the wrong direction. I knocked on Casey's apartment door at 9:30 p.m. My phone was already showing to missed calls from Jordan. Casey opened the door, and I saw something in those green eyes that should have been another warning. Victory, maybe, or hunger, not love, never love. I knew you'd come, Casey said, pulling me inside. The apartment smelled like expensive cologne and bad decisions. Somewhere in my mind, I heard Jordan's voice from dinner. I love you so much. I can't stay long, I said. Then we shouldn't waste time talking, Casey replied and pulled me close. For 3 hours. I threw away everything that mattered. At some point, I checked my phone. 7 missed calls. 12 texts, all from Jordan. Jordan's worried, I said, staring at the screen. Casey was lying next to me, scrolling through their own phone. So answer and say what? That's your problem, not mine. Casey showed me their screen photos. Dozens of them, different people, different times, all intimate, all recent. How many? Does it matter? Casey looked at me with something like amusement. You came here knowing what this was. I hadn't actually. Or maybe I had and just didn't want to admit it. I left at 2 a.m. The drive home felt like driving to my own execution. Every red light was a moment to turn around. Every turn was a chance to keep running. But where would I go? What was left? I pulled into our apartment complex at 2:47 a.m. All the lights were on. Jordan's car was in the parking lot. They were home. They were awake. They knew. Where were you? Jordan's voice was so quiet I almost didn't hear it, but I did. And I heard everything else in those 3 words, the hope that I'd have a good explanation. The fear that I wouldn't, the beginning of heartbreak. I stood in the doorway of our apartment, our home, and I watched that hope die in real time, Jordan. I called you 17 times. My phone was on silent. Where were you, Alex? I couldn't speak. The words were there, but saying them out loud would make them real. I'll make it easier. Jordan said, were you with someone? Jordan, yes or no? Yes. The word came out like a confession at gunpoint. Jordan's face didn't change. That was somehow worse than crying or yelling. Who? Does it matter? Who? Casey, from work. Casey, Jordan said the name like it was a foreign word. You left our anniversary dinner where I gave you a key to our house to sleep with Casey from work. I didn't plan. Did you sleep with them? I couldn't. Lie, not now, not about this. Yes, Jordan stood up slowly, like they were testing whether their legs would hold them. I need you to leave. This is my apartment too. I need you to leave right now. Or I'm going to say things I can't take back. Jordan's voice cracked. Please, Alex, just go. Can we talk about this? Talk about what? Jordan laughed, and it was the worst sound I'd ever heard. About how you fucked someone else on our anniversary. About how I've been planning this night for months while you were planning to betray me. What's there to talk about? I don't know why I did it. I don't care why you did it. Jordan walked to the bedroom and came back with a duffel bag already packed. I packed your things while you were busy. Get out, Jordan, please. Who else knows? The question caught me off guard. What? Who else knows what you did? No one. Just Casey. Jordan's smile was cold. Not anymore. They will. Everyone will. What does that mean? It means I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to cry in front of you. But I am going to make sure everyone knows who you really are. You took away my ability to trust you. I'm taking away your ability to hide. You can't watch me. Jordan opened the door. Get out of my apartment. We're done. I picked up the duffel bag and walked out. The door closed behind me with a sound like finality. I didn't sleep. I couldn't. I sat in my car in the parking lot until dawn, then drove to a motel and checked. The room smelled like cigarettes and regret. My phone buzzed at 6:47 a.m. My sister, Becca. What the fuck did you do? 5 words, no greeting. I didn't need to ask how she knew. Becca, Jordan called me at 6 in the morning. 6 in the morning, crying. Do you know what you've done? I made a mistake. A mistake. Becca's voice was sharp enough to cut. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. You cheated on your fiancé on your anniversary. That's not a mistake, Alex. That's a choice. I know. I've defended you your whole life. Every time you screwed up, every time you hurt someone, I made excuses. Not this time. Becca, please, I love you because you're my blood, she said. But I don't like you very much right now, and I don't know if I'll ever respect you again. She hung up. My phone buzzed again. Marcus, my best friend, I need some time before I can talk to you. Then another text, this time a screenshot. Jordan had sent a message to our mutual friends. Alex and I are no longer together. They cheated on me on our anniversary. I thought you should know the truth. Simple, devastating. True, I couldn't stay in that motel room. I needed to move, to do something. I drove to work, hoping for normalcy. That hope died quickly. I walked into the office at 8:30 a.m. and the silence was deafening. Sarah from accounting, who always said good morning, suddenly became very interested in her computer screen. Tom, my cubicle neighbor who I'd had coffee with every morning for 2 years, turned away when I approached. Then I saw Casey, laughing with someone by the water cooler, carefree, unbothered. Something ugly twisted in my chest. We had both made the same choice. Why was I the only one drowning? Alex. Mr. Kim, my boss, stood at his office door. Can I see you for a moment? I followed him in, my legs feeling like lead. Sit down. Mr. Kim didn't look angry, just disappointed. Somehow that was worse. I'm going to be direct. Word has reached me about your personal situation, sir. I don't need details. But Priya Patel from our partner company called me this morning. She's Jordan's best friend. She wanted me to know what kind of person I have representing our company. The shame burned through me. I understand, your personal life is your business until it affects your professional reputation. And by extension ours. I'm removing you from the Henderson project. You'll transition to internal work for the next quarter, Mr. Kim. Please, this isn't a termination, Alex, but it is a consequence. You need to understand that integrity matters, here and everywhere. Else, I left his office feeling like I'd been stripped naked in front of everyone. At lunch, I found Casey in the break room. This is your fault, I said. Casey looked up, surprised. My fault? You texted me during dinner. You knew what you were doing. I sent you a text. You're the one who showed up at my door. You're the one who was engaged. Casey's voice was casual, almost bored. What did you expect? I didn't promise you anything. You're the one who threw away your relationship. You don't care at all, do you? About what? We had fun. You made your choice. Now you're dealing with it. That's not my problem. I wanted to scream, to rage, to make Casey feel even a fraction of what I was feeling, but they were right. This wasn't their fault, it was mine. That afternoon, I received an email from Jordan's mother. Sarah, she'd always treated me like family. The subject line was empty. I am so deeply disappointed. I welcomed you into our family. Jordan loved you with everything. You didn't deserve it. I closed my laptop and left work early. 3 days after Jordan left, I found out what public humiliation really meant. Someone had posted on social media, not Jordan, never Jordan, who had more class than that, but someone who knew someone. The post didn't name me directly, but it didn't need to. Imagine being so loved that someone buys you a house key for your anniversary, and you spend the night in someone else's bed. Within hours, my notifications exploded. Comments from friends from college, acquaintances I hadn't spoken to in years, even relatives I'd forgotten existed. I always knew something was off about them. Poor Jordan. They deserved so much better. Karma's going to hit hard. An old girlfriend, Amanda Rodriguez, sent me a private message. You did the same thing to me in college, didn't you? I always wondered if you actually had that family emergency that weekend, or if you just got bored. I stared at her message, and something clicked. She was right. I had cheated on Amanda and on the person before her. Whenever things got serious, I ran, I sabotaged, I destroyed. My phone rang. Marcus. I'm not cutting you off, he said without greeting. But I need you to know that what you did was really messed up. I know, Jordan is devastated. Like, actually devastated, and the way you're reacting, trying to make excuses on social media, it's making it worse. I'm not making excuses, Alex. I saw your comments. It's complicated. There's more to the story. There isn't. You cheated. That's the story. For the first time since that night, I started crying, really crying. I don't know why I did it. I had everything and I destroyed it. Maybe that's something you need to figure out, Marcus said, his voice gentler. But you need to do it without expecting everyone to comfort you through it. I ran into Jordan 2 weeks later at the grocery store, the one near our old apartment. The one they always said was overpriced but convenient. I turned the corner into the produce section, and there they were. Jordan looked different, tired, thinner, but also something else clearer. Maybe resolved. Standing next to them was Priya, who looked at me like I was something stuck to her shoe. Jordan, I said. Priya immediately stepped between us. You don't get to do this. You don't get to make yourself feel better by apologizing. In a grocery store, Priya, it's okay, Jordan said quietly. It's not okay, please. Jordan touched Priya's arm. Give us a minute. Priya glared at me but stepped back. How are you? I asked, then immediately felt stupid. How did I think they were? I'm surviving, Jordan said. I'm in therapy. I'm dealing with trust issues that I never had before you. But I'm learning that I deserve better than someone who destroys beautiful things. Because they're afraid of them, Jordan. If you just let me explain, I know about your childhood. Jordan interrupted. I knew the whole time. I thought love would be enough to make you feel safe. I was wrong. You needed to do that work yourself. And instead, you made me collateral damage. I'm sorry, I know you are, but sorry doesn't fix this. Sorry doesn't give me back my ability to trust. Sorry doesn't erase the fact that on what should have been one of the happiest nights of our relationship, you chose someone else. Jordan picked up their shopping basket and walked away. Priya followed, but not before saying, get help, Alex, before you do this to someone else. That night, I called Dr. Helen Foster, a therapist whose number Marcus had sent me days ago. I scheduled an appointment for the next morning. Tell me why you're here, Dr. Foster said after we'd settled into her office. I looked around at the comfortable chairs, the soft lighting, the box of tissues prominently placed on the table. I destroyed my life, I finally said, and I don't know why. She leaned forward slightly. Let's start with what you do know. Over the next several weeks, we talked, really talked, about my father leaving when I was 8, about watching my mother never trust anyone again, about the pattern I'd built. Leave before you can be left. What did you feel when Jordan showed you the house key? Dr. Foster asked one day. Trapped. I admitted, terrified. Like I was going to disappoint them eventually, so I might as well do it now. And did you? Did I what? Disappoint them eventually? Or did you make it happen immediately so you didn't have to live with the anxiety of waiting? The truth of it hit me like a truck. Dr. Foster gave me an assignment. Write a letter to Jordan. Not to send, just to write. I spent hours on it. In the letter, I took full accountability. No excuses about my childhood, no blaming Casey, just the truth. I was afraid. And I hurt someone I loved because I was too much of a coward to face that fear. What would redemption look like for you? Dr. Foster asked after I'd read the letter aloud. I thought about it for a long time. I don't know, maybe there isn't redemption. Maybe there's just becoming someone who wouldn't do this again. She smiled sadly. That's a good place to start. 6 months after the worst night of my life, I saw Jordan's engagement announcement, not to me. Obviously to someone new, someone who probably deserved them in ways I never did. I was scrolling through social media during my lunch break when the post appeared. Jordan's smile in the photo was genuine. Unguarded in a way it hadn't been even with me. The caption was simple, said yes to my future. I stared at that photo for a long time, waiting for jealousy or anger to hit. Instead, I just felt tired. And maybe underneath everything, the faintest hint of happiness for them. How do you feel about seeing Jordan's engagement? Dr. Foster asked in our session that week. Like I'm grieving something I killed myself, I admitted, but also maybe Jordan's happiness doesn't have to mean I'm a villain forever. Maybe it just means I was someone who made a terrible choice and is trying to be better. Becca had started talking to me again, cautiously. We had coffee once a month. She didn't let me off the hook, but she was there. Marcus and I met occasionally. Things weren't what they were, but they were something. I'd been promoted at work after 6 months of keeping my head down and working harder than I ever had. Mr. Kim had called me into his office and said, "You're doing good work, Alex, keep it up." I ran into Sarah Chen, Jordan's mother, at a coffee shop one afternoon. The interaction was brief but not hostile. "I hope you're getting help," she said. "I am good. Jordan deserved better, but I suppose you did too from yourself." She left before I could respond. That evening, I sat in my new apartment, smaller than the one I'd shared with Jordan, but mine, and looked at old photos. I didn't delete them. That would be erasing accountability. Instead, I put them in a box labeled lessons. I opened my journal, a habit I'd developed in therapy, and wrote, "I cheated on my fiancé during our anniversary. Jordan told everyone they had every right to. I destroyed something beautiful because I was afraid of it. I'm not looking for forgiveness. I don't deserve it, and Jordan doesn't owe it. But I'm learning to live with who I was while trying to become someone different, someone who doesn't run from good things, someone who understands that love requires courage, and I didn't have it when it mattered. Maybe I will next time, if there is a next time, if I earn one." I closed the journal and looked out the window at the city lights. I can't undo what I did. I can't erase the pain I caused. But I can make sure I never cause it again. That's not redemption, but maybe it's enough. The end. Asterisk.